All right. Hello and welcome to part 7 of making this mastermind game using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. Um, we realized that we've as cool as it is that we could put these different colored pegs in here and make sure that they only show up when they're supposed to. The reason we're doing it is to compare against the secret pegs that are hidden in here. And by the way, they're not actually in there. There's nothing in there. That's just a box for the user's eyes, but to compare them against the secret code, which we never made. There's going to be some sort of answer that we need to make, and we're not going to use colors. We're going to have numbers. We're going to have the colors correspond to numbers. So this will be number 0, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So before we make these correspond, we're going to just make some sort of secret answer array. So we want to get 4 random numbers between 0 and 5. And we don't care if they repeat. We don't care if it picks 1, 1, 1, 1 or 1, 2, 2, 1. And very often it will repeat. But that's the thing. They are allowed to repeat, which makes it harder for the player, but not like crazy hard. So I'm going to make a function. We have made these things. These are called, well, this is a function inside of this is the event. That's what it's inside of. And this is the event listener. This function is an event handler. It says, how do you want us to handle this click event? And the thing about this function here, it has no name. Just because, is it good form to make a tutorial with no functions? I mean, aren't I missing something huge? And what the heck is this closing? This one closes. By the way, see this little blue line under it? There's the blue line. Okay, so to answer my question, what the heck is this closing? That's that. Okay, so under this, I'm going to make a function, and I'm going to make call it make answer. Now, so what happens is this code will never run unless someone says something like this. If they actually say this, Command C, Command do this, because this is just waiting to be done. It's waiting for someone to call it. And this is a call to this function. Also, when this function is done, it might say something like return 3. And I can say, hey, let my new answer equal whatever this returns. And my answer would equal 3. I do like this. Let answer equal that. I don't want to have it right here, though. So I'm going to just keep this exactly like this, and I'm going to change the return value. It doesn't have to return a number. It's going to return a whole array. So answer is going to end up equal. So let's, because of my self-documenting thing, let answer array equal make answer. So now I know that answer is not just a one value, it's an array. Command X. I like to have all my declarations up at the top. So when it reads this, it does all these things, click down 0, this false, and it says let answer array equal this. The code will say skip down here and see what this is returning. So we're going to inside of this, we're going to make an array. Let array equal this empty array. And at the end, I just copy that and I'll put it in right there. At the end of this function, it's going to return that array. And in the middle here, we're going to put things in this array like random numbers between 0 and 5. So I'm going to come back down to the bottom, but after I do this, we always want to make sure that we have the thing we wanted. So after I do this, after it calls this, right here is where we print it. Okay. So log. I don't need do that yet. Sorry. Let x equal, and we want, how do you say a random number? There's something called the math object thing, and you call it math with a capital N dot random. Math.random just created a random number between 0 and 1. So let's, there, I need that log. Let's print it. So if I hit refresh, it should show some random number between 0 and 1 over here. It won't include 1. It might be 0, but it will not be 1. Refresh. Look at that. Look at that. Nice. It did that. If I multiply this by 6, it is guaranteed. Do I want to do 6 or do I want to do 5? There's 6 numbers, so 6 seems like it must be the right answer. But it'll be guaranteed to be between 0 and 5. That's it. So so x is now going to become that times 6. And let's log that. 4.88, 4.07, refresh. That's a 0, that's a 5. So we always want it to round down. So we want to go to 0 to 5. If you think about it long enough, this, if math.random is doing something between 0 and 0.99999 forever, then if I multiply it by 6, it's going to be somewhere between 0 and 5.99999 forever, but not 6. So there's something I can do to this. There's another math function, math.floor. And what math.floor does, and I'm passing this string, this not string, but this math.random times 6 into this. So it's taking whatever this number is, and it is saying if it's 0.023 blah, 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 just call it 0. If it's 5.197, just call it 5. So now let's console log that x. It just says 3. Refresh. It just says 2. Refresh. It just says 5. I think we have what we want. Well, part of it. How do I get this x into this array? That's easy. First of all, I'm going to get rid of this log here. I take my array and I'm going to push something onto it. Array.push, which means add this to the array. What am I going to add? I'm going to add the x. But I want to do that 4 times, so let's put it in a loop. In a loop. 4. A for loop, and this is going to happen inside the for loop. Command X, Command V, all of this stuff I don't need. Delete. Command X, Command V, let I equal 0. And if you're wondering why I always use I, or almost always use I, it's because I stands for index, and this is basically indexing an array. And I say almost always use I because sometimes I use J, because when I nest a loop inside of the loop, I can't use I anymore. It's already taken. So I use J just because it's going down the alphabet. I, J, K. I actually skip L if I'm doing a have that many nested loop, because L's look like 1s. It confuses you. Anyway, I equals 0. I is less than 4. I plus plus. All right, so now I'm doing this 4 times. I'm starting over with a brand new x. I'm doing that to it. Okay, this should work. Notice I don't have a console log here, so like, well, how am I going to check it? Because up here, I have the console log of the entire array. Moment of truth. Boom, baby. That's our secret code. If I hit refresh, there's another secret code. And there's another secret code. Man, I could do this all day, but it got boring already, so I'm not gonna. All right, so that works. So I'm going to get rid of this console log. There is, you know what, I'm not going to, because Command Z, bring it back. There is one little thing down here. I don't have to say, let x equal this, and then put x in here. I can say, let's just skip a line. I'm just going to take this, Command X, and I'm going to put that in there. And look, I just got rid of a line of code. So into my array, I'm going to push a random number between 0 and 5. That's what that says. Now, if you think this is not readable and it's hard to see what's going, then feel free to have that extra line of code. Have an extra 2 lines of code. Have an extra 9 lines of code. Whatever makes it readable, I think that's more important. I have screwed myself before by making things as short as I can and then come back to them and I have no idea what it says. House cleaning, get rid of those. Command S. So, since I made a little change, I'm gonna test it. Refresh. Okay, it works. Well, I could end this right here and have a record short video. Okay, I'll end it right after I do that. Delete. Command S. Okay, I'm going to come back right here. This was episode 7. It was the short one. And thank you, and all those closing statements.